Welcome all viewers. We are here to discuss about the networking technologies paper, and topic is open system interconnection model, or you can say OSI model. After reading this slides and after watching this video, you will be able to understand concepts about network models, what is the OSI model, how it is evolved, what are its characteristics, and what is its need, why we need this OSI model. So as we discussed in our previous classes, we already talked about the network. So network is what network uses a combination of hardware and software to send the data from one location to another location. And the hardware consists of all the physical equipments that carries the signal from one point to the another point in the network. But however, the services that we expect from the network that are complex than just sending a signal from a source computer to the destination computer. So in addition to the hardware, we need software also. So we can compare the different tasks which are handled in networking, solving mathematical problems with a computer. But to solve that problem, we need hardware already I discussed, but we need software as well. So there are the variety of softwares are available which are used in the networking purposes, or you can say for the data communication as well. So that, let's say for example, the task of sending an email, if I want to send an email to my friend, so from one point, say for example from the Jaipur to the US or the UK, anywhere else in the world, so to another person, if I want to send that mail, that can be broken into several tasks. It is not easy like that. Okay, I just open my mailbox, I just open the compose box, and then I just write the sender's receiver's mail address and just write the body of the text and click on the send button and it will send. It's not easy just like that. We are thinking about this. So that task, email sending can be broken into several tasks, and each is performed by a separate software package. And each piece of software uses the services of another software package to do this job. So at the lowest layer, signals are there, set of signals is there, as we discussed in the previous classes as well, like analog signals are there, digital signals are there, and these signals sent from the source computer to the destination computer. So in this presentation, in this video, we discussed about this layered task, how this task is happened in a way. So say for example, we use the concept of in our daily lives as well, layered concept or layers in our daily life. Like say for example, in this figure, let us consider two friends are there who want to communicate with one another. This is one friend, that is the sender. This is another friend, you can say, who is the receiver. So if there are two friends who want to communicate with each other through that postal mail, so the process of sending the letter to this friend would be complex if there were not the services are available from the post office. If there is no mediator, if there is no post office, it task is very tedious. So it is obvious that now that we have a sender to send the data, we have a receiver to receive the data, and there must be some carrier that transport the letter, So there is a hierarchy of the task. Like this is the sender, this is the receiver. At the sender side, you can say there are some activities are performed at the sender side, at the lower level, at the higher level, the sender write the letter, insert the letter in an envelope, and write the sender and receiver address as well, like from and to. आप लिखते हैं ना envelope पे किसको आप भेज रहे हैं, और आप भेज रहे हैं तो आप अपना भी लिखते हैं, from and to is there. So this is at the higher level side that task is performed, and then it dropped that letter in the mailbox. So at the middle layer, and the letter is picked up by the letter carrier and delivered to the post office, and at the lower layer the letter is sorted out by the post office persons, and a carrier transport the letter, then postman will deliver you the letter. So that postman carried that letter and transport it to you. So now after carrying that letter by the person, and on the way what will happen on the way, the letter is then on its way to the recipient. And on the way, this is the way, on the way the recipient, local post office, it may actually go through the central office. And in addition, there may be a possibility that the letter may be transported by truck or the train or aeroplane or whatever the combination is, like that. It depends on where you are sending that letter. So like the parcel is carried from that source to the destination, and at the destination side, at the receiver side, what will happen? At the receiver side, at the lower layer, the carrier transport the letter to the post office. Say for example, if you are delivering the letter from Jaipur to Delhi, then because the recipient is at the Delhi center, so the letter is delivered to that Delhi post office. And after that middle layer, the letter is sorted out and delivered to the recipient mailbox. And at the higher level, at the center side, the receiver picks up the letter and open the envelope and read it. So this is the layered task, this is the upper layer, this is the middle layer, this is the lower layer. So according to this, analysis, like there are the different type of activities are there. Like there are the 3 activities at the center side, there are 3 activities, another different activities on the receiver side. And this task of transporting the letter to from the sender to the receiver is done by the carrier. So something which is not obvious and which is immediately is that the task must be done in the order and in the given hierarchy as well. It's not possible like aapne letter post kiya and that letter automatically goes back to this received by this receiver. So it's not like that. So at the center side, the letter must be returned, dropped in the mailbox before being picked up by the letter carrier and delivered to the post office. And the receiver side, the letter must be dropped in the recipient mailbox before being picked up and read by the recipient. So each and every layer at the sending side uses the services of that layer immediately below it. Like this middle layer use the services of this upper layer, and this lower layer use the services of this middle layer. So the sender at the higher layer uses the services of the middle layer, and the middle layer uses the services of the lower layer. So the lower layer uses the services of the carrier. So this is the example in our daily life, how we transmitted the data, how we communicate the data from sender to the receiver. So to understand this layered task, we have to understand something as there are the different type of network models are there, and those network models are responsible for transmitting the data. So on the networks, there are many set of standard procedures are there, rules are there to manage information interchange. So some of the procedures governed by the network standards, you can say like procedures used to initiate and end an interaction, and they have to the signals used to represent data on the media, methods used to direct a message to the intended destination as well, and there are different ways to ensure that messages are received correctly. So there are the different type of reference models are proposed, and they have a crucial role in computer networks as they describe the various components of the network. So how they interact, how they interface, and set the set of rules and regulations. So for this they have to follow at the time of data communication, so they have to follow some certain rules and procedures. So there are the 3 main computer network reference models were there. OSI model was there, TCP/IP model is there, and ATM reference model is there. So first we will discuss on this OSI model. What is that OSI model? Basically, OSI model, or you can say Open System Interconnection Model, that is a full form of this OSI model, that is developed by the ISO, International Standard Organization. Developed this ISO model in the early in 1970s. So this OSI model is known as ISO OSI model because it relates with connecting open systems, like systems that are open for communication with each other system. So OSI model is a set of protocol, that try to identify and homogenize the data communication practices that establish the, data communication. It illustrate how the data communication should takes place between the different computers. It segregates the, processes into different 7 groups of different layers, and each and every layer has their own protocols. So these layers are integrate the protocol and develop the standard. That standard is developed by ISO and other standards, like the different type of organizations are also involved in this structure, like IEEE, that is the Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineers. NC, there very well about the NC, that is the American International Standard Institute. ITU is there, International Telecommunication Union is there. So like the OSI model affirm what protocol and standard should be at each layer, so that a smooth data communication between the sender and the receiver can be established. So the short term, used to memorize the layers name of OSI model, like you can say, I'm just giving you the example, like you can learn in by this way, like all people seem to need data processing. So like physical layer is there, data link layer is there, network layer is there, and transport layer is there, session layer is there, presentation and application layer is also there. So they are the 7-layer architecture. So this is the intro about that open system interconnection model. And nowadays it is considered as an architectural model as well for intercommunication, and basically it is used to establish the communication between the heterogeneous system. The purpose, the basic need of this OSI model is to conceptualize, to establish the communication between the heterogeneous systems. It may be a computer or the device or whatever the device may be there. But that heterogeneous devices it's very difficult to establish the communication. So to conceptualize that, to make the smooth data communication, so that effective communication can be possible, that OSI model was proposed, and that model consists of the 7 layers. So what these 7 layers are? These 7 layers are this. These are the 7 layers of OSI model. And this OSI model in this unit is very, very important topic, because it consists of all these 7 layers. And each and every layer has a different function. So you must be very well understand by this each and every layer, what are the characteristics of these layers, what functions they are performing, especially like data link layer, network layer and transport layer especially. So you have to be very clear about that, what that each and every layer perform to establish the data communication effectively between the sender and the receiver. So that is the first layer, that is the physical layer. The second is the data link layer. Third is the network layer. Fourth is the transport layer. Fifth is the session layer, and sixth is presentation, and seventh is application layer. Definitely we will discuss all these layers in our coming classes very well. We will make a detailed discussion as well, but as of now you understand only is that the lower 2 layers are normally put into practice with hardware and software. And these remaining layers, 5 layers are there, from network layer to this application layers. 5 layers are only implemented with the software. So these 2 layers are related with the hardware and software, and other than these 5 layers are related to the software. So these are the 7 layers of OSI model. And for remembering purpose, you can, as I told you right now, like you can remember these things, like all people seem to need data processing. All people need to see data processing. So this is the all about physical data link, network, transportation and presentation layer. In the coming classes, we will discuss about this each and every layer in detail. What are these characteristics, what are their functions, and how they are performing their job very efficiently in the data communication and networking between the computers. These are some reference books, you can refer to these for detailed description and detailed knowledge to get. This is all about this. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you all of you.